Alex, we are going to record the content today on how to create content on LinkedIn and what should be posting in 2026. What is the one post or what is the kind of post in 2026 LinkedIn is going to award you, or the algorithm is going to make your content viral once you apply the principles or the steps I'm going to teach you in this video. So stay till the end, and I'm going to share my um content with you. So no, I will tell you step by step why your content. Okay, so there are a lot of information content on LinkedIn. And by the way, I want to tell you is that on LinkedIn, information content is dead because of AI, because of the AI trends, and because of chat gpt perplexities, and information is so much available to everyone in the market that this kind of content is not likable, is not somebody or your audience is interested to know about. Okay, and the another thing I want to tell you is that there were people like Alex Hormozy, Sahil Bloom, Justin Welch, who used to say that earlier, that if you start typing or start your hook with three tips, five mistakes, then your post will go viral on LinkedIn. But today in 2026, it's no longer working. Okay, so it is old school now, and the new school is more about the emotion, about the vulnerability, or about the storytelling, and about the authenticity. And I want to tell you each one of the new school. The first thing being the emotion. So people connect with the emotion. They don't want to connect with AI. They don't want to connect with AI buzzwords. They want to connect with the emotions, the pain points. So, whatever your audience is, choose one audience and talk about their emotion. So, if you are a professional and you are looking for employer for certain kind of industry, then think about their pain point. Think about what problem you are solving, and then create the content on that. That is the right approach. Number one being the emotion. So start a hook where you talk about the emotions of that particular problem, the pain points. Number two is vulnerability. So, another type of content which wins on LinkedIn is being vulnerable, which means that whatever the life has thrown the challenges to you may start writing those. So once you start writing, make sure that 80% of the content is around the value, the research, and 20% is about your personal story and the personal challenges you have faced, which makes the content vulnerable. So people connect with the vulnerability point of place. And the third thing being the storytelling. So that is another area which LinkedIn algorithm is always pushing about is storytelling, how you are telling the story, which means that your flow, your who is the hero of your story, who is the villain of your story, what kind of value you bring on the table. So the story has to flow the right way. So maybe you can put some chat GPT prompts here, which gives the flow in a way that it is telling the right kind of story, and the story is convinced to your hero, to your customer, to your audience. Okay. The next thing is authenticity. So people can relate that if you are creating a fake content, or if you are copy pasting some other people's post, but the only thing people relate and they can immediately judge or sense or smell or sniff is that how authentic you are. So if you are authentic, if you are talking the real things, if you are talking about what you bring to the table, or if you talk about your personal stories, they can totally sense that. Okay. So write the authentic stories. Do not copy paste. Okay. So this is the kind of content which is going to win. The next thing I want to tell you is that the consultants are not content creators, we are category creators. And by that statement, I want to tell you is that whatever profession you are into, make sure that you talk about the micro niche inside it. Okay. So, which means that you talk about the, if you go deeper, you must be having top three skills or top five skills which you are having the expertise in. So, talk about that. Think about that micro niche. Okay. So do not be the content creators, be the category creators. So category creators are those who talk more about their micro niche, their subject, their expertise. Okay. The next thing is the new era of organic lead generation on LinkedIn in 2026 is the core principle here is emotion is much more than the information, because information is widely available and that too free of cost. That too free of cost, once you go there on social media, a lot of information is there. So do not do that. Do not only post about the information, post about the emotion, post about the pain points. People buy from your pain. If you have lived that experience, or if you have lived your product, if you have lived your service, or if you have lived your, um, if you have lived having the experience of your services, having the experience of your product, and if you are a professional, and if you have experience of what kind of results you give to the employer, then people buy from that angle, from that perspective. Okay, so be the first your customer, be your product or your skills first customer before even employer comes in the picture. First, you should be convinced of what kind of results and what kind of expertise you have. So be have that personality, have that perspective that you are the first customer of your product, of your services, of your solutions, of your strengths, of your attitude, or of your whole package, what you bring to the table. Okay. Now, people buy from your philosophy, which means that employers are going to buy from your philosophy, from your value system, from what kind of value you have, and that can totally be reflecting from what kind of post you are posting or what kind of content you are posting on LinkedIn. Because people can sense. So for example, let me iterate an example here. Because if I am posting more about my gardening and mixing and blending that to what kind of lesson I've learned, and what kind of lesson I learned in terms of which can give benefit to my audience, is something people can relate that okay, Neha's hobby and the personal interest area is one of the areas is gardening. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Here, if you take another example, is that if I blend my content with yoga, because I practice yoga for my health reasons, so I make that investment in my health journey, and I relate that to success as well, because that changes your inner being. So I work on my mindset, you doing yogic practices. So now what I'm going to do on LinkedIn is that I'm going to post content basis my yogic journey with what kind of lessons I have learned through my yoga and through my daily practicing of yoga, and maybe I can attach the picture of me doing yoga in the morning or in the evening. I hope you understood, and people will relate that okay, Neha's values is also one of the health, uh, is yoga. Okay, so she values her health. Okay, and the four emotional triggers, and I want to tell you is that who you become to reach here. So you need to make a content wherein you shift the identity, who you became to reach here. So people love to see your journey. So they want to see the contrast of what were you before and what are you after. So, for example, you are a professional and you're looking for jobs. If you want to create a magnetic effect of yours on LinkedIn, people want to see that what exactly helped you shift your identity, which means that whatever you were in X year and now, what is the difference between both of your version? Your version in 2022 and your version in 2025. What are the difference? What are the contrast? And what have you inculcated or what have you been practicing? So how you are, how you have come here, how you have reached here. So you have to make the content in such a way that you bring that identity shift content. People love to see, not only on LinkedIn, but also otherwise. People love to see the contrasting. So they want to see before, after, they want to see how you transformed so that they can get inspiration, so that they can get motivated from your identity shift, because everybody wants to be motivated on LinkedIn. So if you go and watch Justin Welsh or Sahil Bloom, or for that matter, Ankar Varapu or uh, Raj Shamani, they all post a lot of motivational content and they all post on toxic bosses and how they handle that. And mostly, every content is directional to mostly motivation. So that's what you need to create that identity shift here. And the next thing is struggle confession content, which is vulnerability again, because if you are showing your vulnerable side, that I was this, I was handling this kind of challenge, and people love to see that you also struggled. So they can make sense in the real you. They can make sense that this was real Neha when she was facing this challenge. So mostly the content in these kind of places actually resonate with them. The next kind of thing is like, if you, when I was talking about the identity shift, maybe a lot of people talk about their content on what I learned from this book, Think, Grow and Rich, Napoleon Hill book, and there are other books as well. Like I'm reading this book called Donald Miller's Brand Story 2.0. Then I read this Bhagavad from Devadatt Patnaik, and I keep on reading a lot of books to make myself successful, to change my inner working, and I do meditate. So, when you talk about the identity shift content, maybe you can talk about how these books have helped you become a different person. Okay. So show that book and tell that I've applied and I've implemented this principle so that I can generate this kind of formula for you, for my audience. So that's how you can tell that, okay, that's how I'm inviting you to my masterclass. If you look this as from a perspective of a professional, so if you are posting certain that if you're posting three key takeaways from this book, then people are not going to relate that. Why? Because this kind of key takeaways, they can totally get that from AI, from ChatGPT, from any other tool. So, as I said, information is widely available. But if you blend this information, that okay, you learn these kind of tips from this book, okay, and how you implemented that in your skills so that you can add your skills, your soft skills, so that that can add value to your organization, then that will make sense. Then recruiters will get to know that this person has a mindset of a leader. And that's how he's going to relate more. Okay. Now, the next thing is hope content, what they believe is possible. So, if you can post about a hope content, that what is exactly, um, they think that after reading your content that this kind of thing is possible. Sometimes people post, do not do research, so and they post anything, and if they post anything, people don't relate, don't trust that content, because if you're not posting about from where you got this information, which means that you're talking about the references inside your post. Okay, so now in 2026, LinkedIn is going to um, reward, even encourage for that matter, the links inside the post. Okay, earlier it was not allowing that. So once you start having the links inside the post, then they're going to um, encourage that. And if you're posting links of your portfolio, if you're going to post links of any case study, if you're going to post any link of any e-guide or any research paper, then they're going to trust that. So the whole purpose is to make them believe that whatever you are writing has sightings or has the proof with it. Okay. And another thing on LinkedIn is video dominates now. Now, that gives the 10x trust. Now, if you are an introvert, you don't want to speak on a video, of course, you can create some less number of videos, but of course, if you go and expand your comfort zone, then that is going to give you 10x results. Okay. So go on LinkedIn and maybe you can start with the small actions every day. Maybe you can record a 20-second or a 30-second kind of a video and post on LinkedIn. Now, what as a professional, what you should be doing. Maybe you can post your elevator pitch over there, which talks about what kind of skill sets you have, not talking about your history, not talking about I did job with this company, I did job with this company. Nobody wants to relate that. People want to connect with you on what kind of business outcomes you talk about. Okay. So every professional on this earth have some or the other business impact. But if you're not talking business with the companies, then they might not feel that they should hire you, or they should even talk with you, because then you're not standing out in the market. Then you are generic candidate just like others, having the same qualifications, having the same kind of skills, and they are also talking KRAs and you are also talking KRAs. So for you to standing out in the market, so that you differentiate yourself from the others, is the only thing is that you talking something differently. And when you talk differently, you talk business. Okay, that's what a businessman or the employer wants to hear, that what kind of impact you bring. Okay. uh, that can be mix of skills, and that can be mix of strengths, attitude, personality, how you are a leader, what kind of collaborations, or what kind of um, um, revenue generation done, or what kind of cost cutting you have done. Okay. So, any which ways, I was talking about the videos. So, start generating small videos about your case studies, or um, about your mindset, maybe. Okay. Do not talk personal or stories which do not make sense. Okay. Now, five dead content formats, stop these, like Canva post, because people have got bored or got that fatigue after having that Canva post the same kind of templates. So the whole purpose is of posting on LinkedIn is not being generic. So if you gonna think out of box and do the deep research about the topics what you know, then that makes sense on LinkedIn this time. Okay. And do not copy paste the motivational quotes from Google. or take the stock motivational quotes because that are also outdated this year. And long carousels with no emotion are also dead content. I've already told you three tips to or five mistakes are also dead. Okay. So with this, I end this video and I hope you have got a lot of value from this video that what you're going to post on LinkedIn this 2026. And I am attaching a link below this video on my YouTube, which are having great chat GPT prompts, which are going to help you reverse engineer the post which is made by me and which is made by the thought leaders so that you can learn what kind of hook strategy or what kind of strategy they have applied in their post so that their post got viral. So of course you need to learn from what the thought leaders are doing, and that's what I recommend you. So go on, follow certain people who are your mentors, who are the competitors in your industry, and see what kind of formats they are using to go viral. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. And if you love the content I'm posting, if you think that it's deeply researched and this adds value in your LinkedIn post and this helped you, then do subscribe to my channel.